What happens if the person who called the police on me or the person who initiated charges being filed on me in the first place decides that they don't want anything to do with the case anymore? They decide that, you know what, they don't want to go forward. And what happens? Are the charges dropped? This is this is a very common question that I get from time to time. And the answer is, it really depends. It really depends on a lot of things. Number one, certainly the charges themselves, the severity of the charges, how serious the charges are. A lot of times it depends on the type of evidence because, let's just say in a domestic violence case, maybe it's a case to where the only evidence are the allegations, the verbal allegations against you. And so that would mean that the state and the prosecutor, their case heavily depends on that person's cooperation. So sometimes in that situation, they may perhaps consider dropping the charges. But oftentimes, even in that situation, once there's a formal charge brought, the state of Indiana really has the power and really the only power to dismiss cases, except for, rare situations to where the case has some fatal flaw to where, the defense can file and have the charges dismissed. But in most cases, it's the state and the prosecutor that has the power to make a decision about whether to dismiss a case. So one outcome is they could decide to dismiss the case. They could, in fact, decide to go forward with the case regardless of whether or not the person cooperates or not. Now, that person could very well give a statement formally recanting their statement from before and say, you know what, I was upset, I was emotional, maybe I really exaggerated. All of those things will, in fact, be considered by a prosecutor, but in the end, it's the prosecutor who actually has the power to decide whether or not they want to move forward with the case or whether or not they have information that will allow them to dismiss a case because it's the right thing to do. I'm Corey Scott. If this has been helpful, you have any other questions, please feel free to reach out, hit me up. I'd be more than happy to help in any way possible.